So I got this nephew named Henry. It's my sister's kid. And I'm technically his godfather, which is crazy because I'm not particularly religious. Anyway, Henry came to me in junior high last school year and said, "Hey, Uncle Tom, I'm doing a history project and I need to film a video about someone in history." All right, cool. So I make a video for Henry about a guy in history named Henry, and he submitted it as part of his history project, and we got a B, so the teacher can kiss my ass. Anyway, I don't know what to do with this video. I think it's an interesting story from history. If you have no interest in that type of thing, just swipe on, no hard feelings. But anyway, here's the video I made for young Henry.
There's a song lyric by Bruce Springsteen that says, "From small things, big things come." And history is filled with examples of small events and gestures with vast, world-changing repercussions. Hi, my name is Tom Simon, and I'm a retired FBI agent, social media influencer, and history enthusiast. Let me take you back to World War I and a British soldier named Henry Tandy. He was a courageous young man who had been fighting the good fight for 4 years of that bloody war. One day, in the heat of battle, Henry came across a wounded German soldier and aimed his rifle at the young enemy. But because of the German's injuries, Henry did not regard him as an imminent threat. Henry lowered his rifle, spared the German's life, and allowed the young man to crawl away to safety. That German soldier, who was just a trigger pull away from death, had a name that would not have meant anything to Henry at the time, but that German would live to change the world decades later. That German soldier was named Adolf Hitler. Following the conclusion of World War I, Hitler would form the Nazi Party and rise to power, leading Germany into World War II, a conflict that resulted in as many as 60 million casualties, including 6 million Jews who perished in Hitler's Holocaust. And none of that would have happened if Henry had pulled the trigger that one day during World War I. Of course, we can't blame Henry for a moment of compassion in a time of war, but it's an interesting thought experiment. What would our world then and now be like if Henry had taken that shot? The reason we know this story at all is because Adolf Hitler later saw a photo of Henry in the newspaper and identified him as the young man who spared his life. And Hitler spent the rest of his life crediting Henry as the reason Hitler lived to lead Germany. To be sure, there are historians who doubt the truthfulness of Hitler's recollection and question the likelihood that Henry and Hitler were actually at the same battlefield at the same time. We will never know for sure. But I think the real lesson here is the idea that history can be viewed as a series of accidents with giant repercussions. Or in other words, from small things, big things come. Thanks for watching, have a great day, and be cool.